What's good with y'all? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordani and I help you become your greatest version. Click below, hit that subscribe button. Every man has been there. I've been there, and if you're not currently there, you're going to be there at some moment in your life. What am I talking about? Every man has been in darkness. Every man has faced battles you'll never imagine. I remember a year ago, I was working at this job that I hated. I hated this job. And I was working weekend shifts. I hated it because I hated the environment. I hated the environment and I hated the days. It felt like a burden was on top of me. I felt like I had so much weight on my shoulder because I needed the job. I had bills to pay. I need a work in order to pay my bills. But I was in a very sticky situation. And I let that job get the best of me because I let that influence my life outside of the job. I felt like it was going to be a permanent thing. It started affecting my mental health. It started affecting my self-image. It started affecting my confidence. I believe everything happens for a reason. I had to go through that dark period of my life, through that dark time, because I needed to grow. I needed to level up. God was showing me it's not always gonna be sunshine and rainbows. It's not always gonna be good. Life doesn't work that way. And every single man is going to get tested. You will get tested. I've been tested. I've been through so many hard shit in my life. It's not even funny. I've lost many friends because of the way I move now, the way I carry myself. Family members doubting me, not telling me I'm gonna succeed at what it is that I want to succeed at. Self-doubt and self-sabotage. Me, myself, inflicting pain, inflicting damage to my own mental health, to my own living, to my own being. The world will be your battleground. There's gonna be many times in your life where you're gonna have to fight the battle. You're gonna have to fight the war. This is life. You have to accept every part of life. It's hard in the moment, but you have to keep going. It's the only way to get out of that hole that you're in. To dig yourself out of that hole, you have to keep going, and you cannot fall victim to life's tests. You cannot fall victim to hardships in your life. Never have a victim mentality, because when you adapt a victim mentality, you're not going to do anything to change your situation. I had to change my situation to get out of that job that I hated. I hated working weekend shifts. I had to get out of that shit. It was detrimental to my success. It was detrimental to my growth. I was placed in an environment that I couldn't grow. Every time I woke up at 5 in the morning to head over to this job, I felt drained. I didn't want to wake up. I would have much rather prefer that I didn't wake up than fucking waking up to go to this shitty ass job on days that I wanted to use to build myself up, to gain experience, to have fun, to experience life. But I was put in a sticky situation. I couldn't connect with the people I was working with. I hated the environment I was in. I didn't like the job. As soon as I opened my eyes, I knew it was gonna be a long day. But the truth is, as a young man, we're gonna be tested the hardest. As young men, we're starting from level 1. We start broke, we start ugly, we start with no value, we start with no attention from females, unless you've been putting in the work early, which is something that I luckily started working on myself when I was 15 years old. I'm currently 21. I've been on self-improvement for the past 6 years, and I haven't regretted not 1 second of starting my journey of self-improvement. And I will continue to level up. I will continue to get better. I will continue to improve my life, because as a young man, I expect my life to get better with time. I expect my life to keep improving every single year because of the work that I'm going to put in. It's not going to be handed to me. It's not going to be handed to you. That life that you want isn't going to be handed to you. That version of yourself that you want to be is not going to be handed to you. You got to make sure that you're on top of your shit. You got to make sure that you get your ass up and you do what is required to become that person that you want to be. But as young men, at times, it's going to feel like the whole world is against you. That's how I felt. You know, I felt like the world was against me. The thing is, as young men, we're lost, we're broke, we don't know ourselves, we don't have too much confidence. You know, it's meant to be like this because as a man, when you put in the work, when you build yourself, you're going to be unstoppable. There's not going to be anybody in this world that's going to be able to stop your vision, that's going to be able to stop your grind. This is why you have to keep moving forward. You cannot give up no matter what life throws at you. You have to keep getting back up. You have to be resilient. Without resilience, you're not going to get anywhere in life. These battles that we face is ultimately preparing us for the things we wish for the things we dream of. All these tests that we're constantly going through, females rejecting us, every setback, every failure, every heartbreak is setting you up to succeed. Let it shape you instead of letting it break you. You have to let these battles mold you into the person you want to be. You're gonna feel hurt. You're gonna feel like giving up, but you can't allow the feelings, the moment to overtake you. You have to stay focused and you have to keep going. You know, the darkest nights produce the brightest days. You're in a very dark place right now, but you have to understand that the sun is going to rise back up. You're not going to be in that dark place forever. I sure thought that my life would never improve. I sure thought that the darkness that I was in was going to last forever. Life is like basketball. When you bounce a basketball, the harder you bounce a basketball, the higher it's going to go up. And that's the same thing with life. The harder you fall, the harder you go into darkness, the higher you're going to spring back up into the light, the higher you're going to spring back up into that version that you want to be. Everything happens for a reason. Understand this. When you understand this, it's going to make the process a lot easier. It's going to make the process a lot better. You have survived every single bad shit that has happened to you in your life. This is just another chapter. This is just another page that you're turning. Don't give up. Keep going. And you're going to see the other side of the darkness. You're going to eventually see the light. And when you come out of that darkness, you're going to be a new, better version of yourself. I want you guys to remember that the only thing we chase is greatness. When you chase greatness, everything else will be added onto your life. With that being said, if you made it this far to the video, click that like button and I'll see you in my next video.